How do you get an association in Mathematica? Well, we've already seen one way, which is to start with a list of rules and then to wrap it in the head association, like what I've done here. And we can check that it's really an association by evaluating head of A. And yep, it's an association. And the way associations are denoted in Mathematica is always with this angle bracket and vertical line on the outside. And I can also make an association, what I'd call by hand, using that notation. So let me copy the contents of this list, not the full list, not the outer curly braces, just the contents. And this is another way to make an association using this angle bracket and vertical lines on the outside. So this latter way probably seems easier since it was shorter. But the big advantage of the rules, the list of rules way, is that we can make lists very efficiently using table. So for example, let me name my list equals table. And then I'm going to say, what should each entry in the list be? Let's say it's I goes to some random integer from 0 to 10. And let's say I starts at 1, goes up to 100, or never goes past 100, and goes up by 4. So 1 goes to some random integer. Key 1 goes to value 8. Key 5 goes to value 4, and so on. And then I can wrap this in association. Okay, so that was a very efficient way to make an association. I can name this, how about B? And then I can get what's the value of 17? Okay, value is 10 for this key 17. I can get what are all the keys of this association B? Okay, and it's exactly the left-hand sides of these arrows. I can get what are all the values? Okay, and these are all the right-hand sides of these arrows. Another way that you can get an association in Mathematica is to use certain built-in functions that output associations. So as a preliminary step, let me name, how about new list equals random integer. Okay, let's say 0 to 10 and give me 20 of them. Okay, so here's a length 20 list of random integers from 0 to 10. And then we've used count a bunch of times. I don't think we've used counts before. So counts, it takes as input a list, and as output returns an association. And what are the keys in the association? They're exactly all the elements from the input list, but with duplicates removed, so without any repetitions. And what are the values of this association? Well, it's exactly how often did that key occur in the original list. So for example, 9. Okay, we're saying 9, the key 9 has value 4. So that is saying that 9 should have occurred 4 times in the original list. And yep, 1, 2, 3, 4. So counts is one example of a built-in Mathematica function which outputs an association. Let me do one more that's related to classify. And so for this classification, we're going to classify a photograph. So let me get a photograph, and I'm going to get it using the current image. So this is going to take a photograph from my webcam. Okay, perfect. And so now I can do classify. So we've already classified words for sentiment in one of the worksheets. Here we're going to classify this image for what is the facial expression. And so this is not going to output an association. Okay, instead it's going to output what emotion does it think that this represents. Okay, I don't totally know if I agree with that, but it's saying happiness. And so what does that have to do with associations? Well, let me add to this the option to tell me probabilities. And let me name this, how about C? And so what is this C? Okay, well, we can already tell it from this angle bracket on the outside. We can already tell that it's an association. And if I want to know what is the probability that this picture is showing a facial expression of anger, well, according to Mathematica, I can figure that out by doing C brackets. Okay, and let me copy this anger. Okay, this anger is an entity. Okay, we can see it there, entity, emotion, comma, anger, then some text. And so this association for the key anger, it has the value 0.16. So it's saying that according to Mathematica's classify facial expression function, there's a 16% chance that this picture represents anger. What if I were to do C brackets anger? Okay, that doesn't give me anything because anger as a string, that's totally different from anger as an entity. So there is no key of this string anger inside this association. So trying to look up by that key does not work.